What's going on, people? It's your boy KelechIwuaba back with another episode of the Ramblin' Mind Podcast. How are each and every single one of y'all doing today? I hope y'all are staying safe. I hope y'all are taking care of yourselves. I hope y'all are doing all the things you know you ought to do during these times, my friends. Today we're going to be talking about a topic that's kind of weird and kind of out of the left field. I heard a quote from Ryan Holiday. If you don't know who he is, he's a writer, he is a podcaster, he's a public speaker. I really love the stuff that he puts out. He has a podcast called The Daily Stoic, and he wrote the book Obstacle is the Way, Ego is the Enemy, and there's another one that Discipline is Destiny, I think is the third one, maybe. But he's a Stoic teacher. He teaches on Stoicism, or the philosophy of Stoicism, and I really enjoy it. I see a lot of mirroring between Stoicism and Christianity, and so I really enjoy his content. But anyway, I was listening to one of his podcasts, and he said something that was very profound on that podcast. He said, there is no such thing as quality time. And I was like, what do you mean there's no such thing as quality time? I mean, quality time is quality time. There is such a thing as quality time. But he was talking about, in the idea of parenthood, there's no such thing as quality time. And he said, usually we think of quality time as the time that we spend when we go on vacations, or the time that we spend with our loved ones when we go on a dinner date, or when we do something special. Like, we think of that as quality time. But what we end up doing is, when we believe that to be quality time, we ignore the rest of the time that we get to spend with those that we care about. We ignore it and we diminish it and we belittle it. And so we end up making the times that we do get with everyone around us to be nothing more than just passe. We're not involved. We're not taking special care to listen. We're not really a part of it. And he shared this quote from Jerry Seinfeld, and I thought it was so good. He said, Jerry Seinfeld said, I'm a believer in the ordinary and the mundane. I don't want quality time. I want the garbage time. Which is basically saying, like, all the little times that you get, if you're a dad with your kids, all the little times that you get just in the house, not when you go on vacation, but just every day, when you wake up with them, when you tell them a bedtime story, when you help them with their homework, when you see them, when you just come home from work. All those little times build up, and those things count so much more than the vacation that you might take maybe once or twice a year. It's so much more important because those times matter so much more. Because those times are more repetitive. They're more ongoing. They just take part of your everyday life. But if you sequester your quality times, whether it's with your wife to just be, oh, we go on this one special vacation, or we go on this one special date, or if you sequester quality time to being those moments, to being just those few and far between moments, all of a sudden you realize that there's a distance. There's a distance between you and the other person because, like Ryan Holiday said, all time is quality time. But that quote reminded me of a blog post that I wrote about 2 years ago based off of a quote that I heard, which was, find the ordinary and celebrate the ordinary. Find the ordinary and celebrate the ordinary. Much like the Ryan Holiday quote of there's no such thing as quality time, I was like, what do you mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Why would we celebrate the ordinary? The point of the ordinary is that it's ordinary. Why would we celebrate in the ordinary? The things that are meant to be celebrated, we have words for those things. It's called extraordinary. It's called out of this world. It's called special. It's called unique. It's called amazing, unbelievable. We use those words to describe things that are worth celebrating. But yet the quote lingered in my mind. The quote remained in my mind of, why do we need to celebrate the ordinary? Why must we celebrate the mundane, the boring, the everyday thing? And then it clicked. Because the more we choose not to celebrate the ordinary, everyday things of life, the more we diminish life. The more we belittle how much life is happening. Because if by our definitions, the only times we celebrate are during the big events, during the time we get to post to social media about our graduation and our birthdays and our anniversaries and when we get proposed to and when we get married, and we diminish all of life to be highlight reels, what do you think happens with life? If the only time that life is truly lived, that we truly enjoy the goodness that is life, is when we can share the highlight reels, we diminish the beauty that is life. We diminish the excitement of how we can enjoy more of this thing that we have been blessed with. We belittle all the good things that happen to us on a regular basis because it's not the massive thing that we are waiting for. We diminish life to be such a small little subset of things that we choose to celebrate. And this plays a role into our finances. If we can't see our everyday hustle, our everyday successes, our everyday triumphs in doing the little things, making sure that we're doing our budgets, making sure that we're doing the automatic saving, making sure that we're taking care of the little things. If we don't see the little things as victories, if we don't take care of the ordinary, boring, mundane task of reviewing your money, reviewing how you're spending, making that budget, using that budget, creating that automatic savings plan, creating that automatic debt payment plan, we limit life to only, I got a new paycheck, I got a bonus, I got a raise. And if we diminish life to be just those things, those major accomplishments that we may have, if we do that, we'll always be upset with where we are financially. Or even worse, if we combine that with the lifestyle choice of the only time I'm truly enjoying life is when I'm doing something big, we will forever be broke because we'll always be looking for ways to do the big thing. We won't be able to find joy in going to get ourselves a nice little $2 ice cream shake. We won't be able to find joy in doing the free activities of walking around in the park. We won't be able to find joy in buying a cheaper item to help us just get through to the other side. We won't be able to find joy in just spending time with your friends without having to go to a special restaurant. If we don't learn to celebrate the ordinary, to sit in the ordinary, to enjoy the ordinary, to take each and every day that we get as a blessing that it is, we diminish what life could be. Somebody said this quote of, if you never learned to enjoy the beauty of a leaf, how can you possibly enjoy the beauty of a forest? It's ordinary. The leaf itself is ordinary. The sky is ordinary, but yet there's such beauty in them. The other day, it just stormed by my house, and the sun was starting to set after the storm, and I saw a glimpse of the rays hitting my room, and I was like, "Yo, it looks beautiful outside." So I went outside, and it just caught me how magnificent the sky was. It was such a beautiful, beautiful picture. It was just like the colors, everything. It just looked amazing. And here's the ironic thing. A picture didn't do it justice. Like, I'm going to show a picture. If you're watching this on YouTube, you see a picture, but that did not do it justice at all. To look up and look at the sky, and it just looked amazingly beautiful. But if we don't take the second to celebrate the ordinarity of a sunset, or it's not even a sunset, it's just the way the sky was reflecting off of the clouds, it just looked beautiful. But if we don't take the daily affirmation of just looking up at the blue sky, how can we really appreciate the beauty of a sunset? Most of the time, we take these things just as like, oh, I need to use this to post on social media, but really it's something we should be doing for our lives. So this whole podcast was just to share the importance of celebrating in the ordinary, of being joyous in the everyday things of life, which The ironic thing is, if you are able to celebrate in the ordinary, as you guys know, one of my big things that I always talk about is comparison, which is something that I struggle with. And I know like most of us struggle with because we live in the social media generation and we can see everybody's highlight reel and we compare our entire lives to a 60-second clip. We compare, I know I do this, I compare 29 years of life to somebody's 60-second highlight reel, which, think about that. That makes no sense, but yet we do it. And so one of the beautiful things of when you learn to celebrate the ordinary, you take nothing for granted. Every moment becomes more enjoyable and it helps you fight back against the comparison. When it comes to your kids, when you learn that all the time you get with your kids is quality time. And when you understand, which I have this band on my hand and it says Memento Mori, which is remember that you will die. Or as Marcus Aurelius used to say, he says, when you put your children to sleep, think to yourself, they may not see the morning, which means you take each moment with them. So when you put these into perspective, every moment, every little time you get is quality time. If you're with somebody you love, take the time. Enjoy the moment. Do not sacrifice the time that you could have with them because you're trying to meet some whatever accomplishment. All time is quality time. Find the ordinary and celebrate in the ordinary because it just makes life so much sweeter. But anyway, it's been your boy Kelechi. I hope this podcast made sense to maybe one person out there, but I'm going to catch y'all up on the next one. Remember, generosity is always greater than greed. God bless each and every single one of y'all, and I'm out. Peace. Whoosh.